What's up, people? To today's podcast, we have one of my very good friends and an absolute killer in the space, Mr. Jack Hayward. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Fucking fire, bro. Like, he just moved to Buenos Aires to get closer to the Latinas. How is life in Buenos Aires, Jack?
Life in Buenos Aires is good. I've been here for now 8 days.
Okay.
Struggling a bit with the Spanish. I know absolutely zero, but we'll get there. Slowly but surely, I will learn my Spanish. But no, it's a really cool place. I'm enjoying it a lot.
How you talk to girls right now, then, though?
With managing broken English and attempting very broken Spanish, not much talking is needed. It's fine.
It's true. They see you, they're like, bro, this guy is hot, man. And he's European. And he's a Geary. Oh my fucking God. And he looks like he has money. Fucking lottery win. That's fire, man. Yeah, I can't wait. How often do you have Spanish lessons now?
So I'm having one every day at the moment. So I'm having an hour lesson a day. I might increase that to 2 hours a day because I want to learn as quick as possible. Because here it's like if you don't know Spanish, everything is so much harder. Like even, I'm in a super touristy area, and even here, like you can't go into many shops with most shopkeepers don't speak English, so it's really really difficult.
Interesting. Habla español, Jack, ahora. Vamos. Yeah, audience, we need to know that Johannes lives obviously in Spain, Marbella, and speaks fluent Spain because his wife is Peruvian, so nice advantage compared to Czech. But if I go to
Absolutely.
Argentina, I have nothing from it because I'm married.
The steak, though, you have the steak,
I
of
could
course.
in the bad ring, bro. Yeah, cool, man. No, really great to have you, Czech. Like, normally what I'm doing in this podcast is we talk a little bit in general about the Leadgen space and how you came into it. Maybe that's a good question. Like how long you are in the space by yourself, though?
Around 2 years now, 2 years in Leadgen.
Okay.
What do I think? Yeah, just over 2 years in total.
What did you do before? Like, what's your background?
Yeah, so I was previously before Leadgen, I was a software developer, software engineer, which is a completely different pivot. I fucking hated being a software developer. I hated being a software engineer. I wasn't a very good software engineer either. And every day was just sort of dragging, typing as little code as possible to check the box and get the day done. It was not fun.
Okay. And how did you come into Leadgen, though? How did it happen?
Yeah, so obviously I was doing software development, hated it, was trying to find a way out. And I started building websites for people, for companies, and of course, like I needed clients. So I started figuring out like how do I get clients?
Okay.
Eventually that led me into cold email, sent a bunch of cold emails, a bunch of cold looms. I wasn't very good. I didn't really know what I was doing. I'd love to see them. I'd love to go back and see what I said. Because I can imagine they were terrible. Like, hey, I hope you're
I
doing
would
well
love
today.
to
Hope
see
this
them,
email
bro.
finds you well. I
If
could
you
probably
find
find
them,
some.
send them over. All right,
But yeah,
cool.
that's how I got started in it. And then obviously I'd done a bit of cold email for my business, my web development. And then I broke up with my girlfriend,
Mhm.
went to Helsinki on my own for like a little solo trip, figuring some stuff out. And then I came across none other than Mr. Levy's videos. And then from there, it was like I was locked in. And here we are 2 years later.
Crazy, right? It's like for everybody, it's actually the same story. Like I came across latest videos and I was locked in. And it is not. I mean, it was exactly the same for me, really.
Yeah.
All right. And what would you say, like, if you look back at the last 2 years, how the space has changed?
Yeah, it's changed a hell of a lot. I mean, if we think 2 years ago, we were pretty spoiled. Things were really good. You know, you could, it was a case of launching a campaign. You buy some email accounts, you launch a campaign. If your open rate is under 70%, you pause the accounts and you let them warm up again. And then you keep sending and reply rates through the roof. Positive reply rates really good. Things were just much simpler, but I think, the barrier to entry was definitely higher. Like it was much harder to get into cold email. Of course, there weren't any services to set up email accounts for you. That was unheard of. So you either need to do it manually or pay someone, virtual assistant or something to do it for you. Like all the tools were way less sophisticated instantly. Smart. I mean, people weren't even using Smart Lead 2 years ago. I don't even know if Smart Lead existed 2 years ago. I think it
No, I
came out like a
didn't.
year and
Did
a
you
half.
start with
Yeah.
Smartly?
Instantly.
All right. Okay, instantly existed longer then, right?
Yeah.
How long is instantly out there?
I think instantly is like 3 years. If
Okay,
I'm not
because when
wrong.
I started, I believe there was no instantly either.
Really?
No, I
Damn.
started with like sales handy, and I remember
Holy
I
fuck.
had so some Indian guys, and I remember I had 2 Microsoft accounts, and I ran like 1,000 emails on each account.
But you could probably still get away with it, right? At the time.
I
Like
don't
it
know.
probably still
Yeah, at that
worked.
time, yeah. Like honestly, like
Yeah.
I disconnected maybe once a week or something like that, but that's it. Then I just wrote to these guys like, "Hey, connect this again. There's a problem." I'm like, what the fuck? But I mean, they also like nobody really instructed you. I had no instructions. I just really was ramming like Rumble. Like honestly, but it
Yeah.
was working also, like you said, it was working super well. I booked little meetings left and right with massive companies. Like, don't know, IKEA,
Yeah. And
Coca-Cola.
I think as well, like one of the bigger changes is that you used to be able to get away with a lot more. Like you used to be able to not like as long as you had like a decent offer and like okay positioning and okay copy and okay list, it was fine. Like you didn't need to do crazy stuff to move the needle and actually get results. Of course, you know, if you did do those things, you would have better campaigns, but you didn't need to. Whereas now, like you have to do those things in order to stand a chance because there's so many people sending cold emails, there's so many people receiving cold emails,
Yeah.
and the game is way harder but also like easier to get into, so it's kind of a strange kind of a paradox at the moment, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely, yeah, I see it exactly the same. Okay, what would you say, like, which role plays AI today?
Yeah, so I think AI is a bit of a AI can be used really well and it can be used really badly. I think having too much reliance on AI, and this is something I have been guilty of, or at least experimenting with in the past, is thinking like, damn, I can AI all the research, I can AI all the copy, blah, blah, blah. Especially when you get to a point of competence where you start to think, like, I know what a good cold email is, I know how it's structured, so on and so forth. I think your ego can run away with you a bit and you start to think, that AI can replace the human aspect of research and the human aspect of writing copy just because you give it a good framework. At least in my experience, it can't. But nonetheless, like I think AI is becoming scarier and scarier by the day. Like if you've seen tools, have you seen Octave? Yeah.
Yes, I've had a quick look into it, but not really. Like, but your band has told about it, right? Like, what is it about
Yeah.
exactly? Explain it to people because, like, I think it's what I saw was very interesting. But as you know, I launched 2 companies this month, so don't have too much
Been a
time
busy
for
bee.
everything. But like, yeah, tell us a little bit about Octave. So, does it really work
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not actually running Octave at the moment. I've had a call with their team. I have an account, not actually running it. But
Mhm.
basically the idea behind Octave is it will automate your kind of customer research and it will automate your outbound. But it does things in a slightly different way where they go in and they have this what's called like an ICP agent. So if you pay for the premium plan, essentially all you need to do is load Octave up with your domain name or your client's domain name. It will then go away and do a bunch of crazy and like actually good research into like who are they serving? What are the job titles? For each job title that you should talk to, which ones are the highest priority, and for each job title you should talk to, which ones have individual problems that you can solve. So then when you run a lead list in, say, Clay, it might say, okay, we're talking to Johannes. He's X title, X company. He cares about this, and we're going to go ahead and find out things about rock solid lead generation. What are they struggling with that we can solve? And based on his position, what problems of those can we help with and will he most care about? So then you have a really personal email, which is like, damn, this really speaks to everything that I'm struggling with. And it feels really natural and really personal because it's all bit like, it's really impressive. And it sounds like too good to be true. From what I've seen, it's pretty incredible. It's terrifying.
Really? So, do you
Yeah,
think it's really that good that we finally have something that can completely do the whole process with Octave?
I think so, and there are a lot of people that are doing it. A lot of people are running it side by side against sort of traditional email campaigns or like self-built campaigns, and it is really good. I think where Altival falls short is kind of like, obviously, if you're working with an early stage startup or SaaS company who doesn't have product market fit, they don't know who they should speak to. Like obviously, then it's less likely that it's going to perform because it doesn't have the information needed, right, to kind of make those assumptions and make those guesses. So at least that's my perception of where it might fall short, but I'm not entirely sure. But the outputs are very, very good. Like I was really impressed.
And you instructed it, but it's mostly helping for B2B, so basically for companies, right? It cannot go for individuals. That doesn't work.
No, so it can do individuals too. Yeah, so it will do everything. Yeah.
Interesting. Could be interesting for me for Cialdini, to be honest. And does it like, because
100%.
there's something similar that my business partner is using from the domains, and that's called Autobond, that does something similar, I believe. But the problem with this is there's like a little bit of a limit. Like, how is it there with volume?
Yeah, so you get 30K credits, I believe, and that's 30K emails.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Oh, wow. That's really good. And what's the pricing?
I don't know exactly, and well, I do know, but I don't know if it's private pricing that I can't say.
Tell me the price, bro.
I can let you know off the
Can you
video.
write me later in
I will.
Slack? All right. Okay. I'm very interested into this. Obviously, that sounds really, really, really fascinating because it could be something that we just don't have to do fulfillment anymore, right? It sounds like fucking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean it's a pretty terrifying thing. Like if you think about kind of the landscape of email and kind of what's changed. Imagine somebody 2 years ago saying that that's even. I mean, 2 years ago, like to give an example, I was ripping GPT for Sheets-based personalization, and at the time that was like next level. That was crazy stuff. It was like the most generic sort of opener of like, hey, I love how you're solving this problem, and that at the time was like, fuck. And then you fast forward now, and you'd never dream of saying something like that. So it makes you wonder, like, where is cold email going in a year or two? Like, I have no idea.
I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I was sitting last time with Noah when he was here visiting me on my rooftop, and we were basically smoking cigars and drinking whiskey till 4 in the morning. We were also discussing like how fast the space is moving, and especially with AI. Also, when I started, I remember Quick Lines was really big. Like, I have seen you from New York, so are you a Knicks fan? And that shit was working, right? Banger, bro. Printing, man. And look at where we are today. But I mean, it's moving so fucking fast. So like, this is just like in the last 2 years. Exactly. Imagine where we are in 2 years. It's just, don't need an SDR anymore because everything is automated.
I think it's really hard to predict. Like, I think no matter how much you sit there and try to think about what it will look like in 2 years, I don't think you can. I think things will appear that are just so unfathomably different that they just seem impossible right now. Just like equivalent to if we go back 2 years and we imagine what's going on right now, you'd think like, there's no way. That's impossible. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But it is like with these fucking AI cold calling bots, like they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's true. I've seen this as well. It's fucking sick. Yeah,
they're
crazy.
actually quite good.
Yeah, and they're already now quite good. Imagine where they're in a year from now or something.
Yeah,
it's
exactly
sick. So basically, you automate just everything. Like the ones that then be the ones that still make a lot of money will be the one that how to instruct all these things. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. But this will also be easy, maybe. So every fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like someone told me this, but they was kind of, I agree with their theory, and they were saying it's going to become a deliverability game more than anything, which is very possible. Like I can see that. But who knows?
You also exactly. That was like my next question. What do you see as the biggest challenge right now?
Right now, I would say obviously deliverability. I mean, at this very current moment in time, it has to be deliverability.
Yeah.
I think, we've moved so far away from this kind of simplistic game of cold email where, like I said, it was just a case of checking this magic open rate number. And if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Like it was so simple. And now it's like you have to do all these. You've got to be like a fucking systems engineer now to figure out deliverability. Like you need to be checking this, making API calls here, having like crazy make automations. Things are wild right now with deliverability. And then it just changes. You have something that's working. A week later, the whole thing is gone. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
I agree. And that's why you really need like a dynamic solution that is adapting to everything that happens, right? So like, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but we may have this solution, right? So rock solid domains is coming, boys and girls. It's coming by the end of the month. And like the cool thing is, like I said, I work with this guy that he has a company for domains. He had a company for domains for 20 years. So this guy does nothing else his whole life than setting up domains. And he knows really every fucking small detail. And that's why our domains are 5 out of 5 status, A+ status. Like a lot of people say they have good domains, but when you look in black and white and you check them in Mailspike, for example, it's not like that. And ours really deliver. So everybody is going to be super excited about that. I'm telling you that. So like I do believe, because also even he said to me yesterday, he said we deliver to Outlook right now.
Really?
Yeah. He said he tested six mailboxes. They all delivered to Outlook. Everything.
I mean, that's huge.
That's huge, exactly. But yeah, we will see, guys. So if you're watching this, by the end of the month, the start of next month, we're going to launch that. But you know what? I really love doing this podcast. I believe I'm really continue to do that. And I just take on a lot of people and just have a quick chat about outbound, guys. If you like that, leave me a comment. And I continue doing that because I know a lot of killers in the space, and it's always fun to just really talk about it and see what's new, right? And maybe you can learn a lot of things. Like now, maybe you heard the first time about Octave, and tomorrow you're gonna shoot all your campaigns over that, and you don't do nothing anymore, and you can say thank you, Chuck Hayward.
remove from fulfillment.
You should have like an affiliate link, bro.
I should. Maybe I'll get in touch. Say, hey, I've just been on this huge podcast.
You should
give me a link now.
You should definitely have an affiliate link, and me too, actually. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna hit this guy's up. So I have this podcast there, you know.
Yeah, they're a really cool team as well. They're a very, very cool team. Okay. Like I've spoken to them, Ben's spoken to them. I think Ben actually speaks to them quite a lot because he's now a customer. But they're a really great team. Like, they are killers. I believe there may be a Clay integration coming soon, which of course will be fucking interesting. Yeah, but it's pretty wild. I mean, like I will, if it ever becomes the case that you don't need to write copy anymore, I'll be pretty sad, because that's one of the few things that I really enjoy about cold email.
Absolutely.
But we will see. Time will tell what will happen.
I 100% agree. That's also the thing for me. That's the only thing that I really enjoy. Copy. All the other rest. But let's be honest, all the other rest also, like, you don't need a brain to do these things. You know what I mean? Yes, for deliverability, again, you need it, but to basically just take the copy, put it into Smart Lead, do these things, get leads and all that things, scrape leads. This is all things that everybody can do with zero brain. And like, I just don't like to do things where you don't need a brain. It's just like, I could waste the time, waste of my time, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I just can't, man. But yeah, okay, man. Thank you so much. This is great. I think it was great value also for the audience. If there would be like one thing that you could give as an advice to people right now, what would it be?
What position would they? Are they like general cold email? Are they just starting? Are they 2 years in? Like, what would you say is their situation?
Yeah, just like, let's say, people that watch this podcast, so a little bit more experienced people.
Yeah. Well, I think nowadays, like the key to cold email, like the thing to really focus on, is just trying to be different. You know, like not following scripts, not following fucking blueprints and templates and all this bullshit, and just trying to be as human as personal as possible. Like I did a test last night, and I wrote an email to myself. Which sounds super weird, but I wrote an email to myself.
You, bro. For you, it doesn't sound weird, to be honest. Everybody else would say, "What the fuck?" But for you, it's like, all right, that makes sense.
But the reason I did that was because, like, you can write to yourself. I don't need to research myself. I know everything I want, everything I need, everything I struggle with. Yeah. And I wanted to see, like, can I write a really, 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 really terrible email to myself, but with really great research? And like, would I respond to it? And the answer was yes. It was a 2-page fucking terrible email, like the worst copy ever. But it was different. It was super personal. It was super relevant because I'd done my research. And like, I just wanted to kind of experiment with that to see like to kind of validate this idea of like how I believe templates are just terrible. And I think people are losing so much money just by ripping templates and hoping for the best, because like you can, you see it all the time. Someone will send an email like the template is good. You can see they've taken it from somewhere, but the content just makes no sense. And you read it and this thought process, like it's not sequential, and you think like, what the fuck have I just read? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then there's other emails you receive and you're like, okay, like you get this clean, clear feeling where you think, I know what this is. I know this is for me. I love how this read. And it could be the same template, but the content and the research behind it is really what makes the email. So yeah, I think the one thing I would say is just really trying to focus on research, trying to focus on being different to everybody else, just being human.
I love it, man. That's an amazing closing word, man. All right, man. Fishtek, thank you so much for coming on my podcast. Really enjoyed, or always enjoy talking to you, but especially also about this topic. So I wish you an amazing time in Argentina. Enjoy the Latinas,
Thank
and
you.
see you soon again, maybe in another
Amazing.
time. Take care,
Sounds
bro.
good.
Bye.
Thank you for having me. See you.